Du, 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 du. Du, 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 du. Du, 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 du. Juniversal Horror Month. And we have skipped the 90s and went straight to the 2000s with 2008's The Strangers. Yes, the original. And I will point this out. This is my first time watching it since The Strangers Chapter 1 came out. So I'm immediately drawing parallels because I watched that 2 times in a row compared to, yes, I watched it when it first came out and on Blu-ray because I wanted to see it, and then I watched it to review it for last Halloween. The movie's crap. This is better. I do want to point out something, and I'm giving all the credit in the world here to Jason Smith from Sinister Cinema, because he mentioned this. I didn't think about it. He said something. I was watching his review before while I was getting ready for this. He pointed this out, and I didn't think of it. So I'm giving it. This is all credit to you, Jason. If you're watching this, if you watch my channel, which let's get real, you don't. But he pointed out that we don't really get to know these people, and he's right. It starts with this couple coming back from something. Something bad happens, and it turns out it's a failed proposal. She said no. I want to point out that she says no, and then almost immediately they try to fuck. So, no, I don't want to marry you, but I still fuck you? I don't know. She just did it for the dick, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah. And we don't really get to know them, because they come home. I'm paraphrasing what he said. They come back, and they have a conversation. They start to get hot and heavy. There's a knock on the door, and then he needs to leave to get cigarettes. And the remake, it was vegan food, because 2024, I don't know. And then the shit starts. We don't really get to know them. All we know for these people is that there was a proposal that didn't go the way it was supposed to. You kind of feel bad when you come back and you see all this, right? But like, I felt like this, and I get it. You want to get to the story, right, of these home invaders. But if we had like an extra 20 minutes meeting these characters and getting to know, and you're already saying, Scotty, they did that in the remake and it sucked. Well, you gotta do it right, not just throw it in there. Yes, we get to know those characters, but what do we know of those characters? They're annoying Gen Zers, is what they are. One's a vegan, the other one, I don't know, they're not really annoying, but they're not. These characters, I think, would be enough to get to know, right? They have a relationship. You can start with, they come to the house, and like they mentioned, they're on a vacation, and maybe his buddy is there. Glenn Howerton is there with them, and he mentions he's going to propose to her. We get to know the characters over the first 20 minutes, and then he proposes, and she says no, and then we come back, and this happens. We don't get to know them enough. All we know is that there was a proposal and it didn't work. That's all we know. So, yeah, credit to Jason for pointing it out, because I didn't think of that. We don't really get to know him. We don't. This is supposedly based on true events. I guess the director based it on the Manson killings and something that happened in his neighborhood or something. I don't know. But yeah. I will say this: the performances are pretty good. Even from Glenn Howerton, who gets fuck all to do in this movie. They could give him more lines, but they won't because of the implication. No, he gets only not that much screen time. They could give him more, but they won't because of the implication. I know that even for Sunny fans, that doesn't make any sense, but I had to work it in there somehow. Yeah, because like, so you get this, and you get there, you get all this stuff. They're kind of cleaning up, and then as he goes to pick up more cigarettes, but she's already got some. I guess, I will point out some people go, well, if she already got some, she's fine. You don't know smokers. You don't know smokers. Because if they have 2 in a pack and they have the rest of the night, that's not enough. That is not enough. And you can sit there and go, what, really? Yes. That's 2 cigs are not enough for the rest of the night. I know it's really late for them, but that still won't be enough. It will not last for smokers. It's the addiction. So yes, he does need to go out and get him. I don't know why it's written in there that he has to leave. Because they want her to be alone. But, if they had an argument, he said he could just say, I'm going to go lay down. And he goes in the other room, and then she's dealing with the stuff and has to come wake him up. But she's all alone for that time, which I guess works. I guess they wanted her to be completely alone. Sure. But, yeah, and I do like the scene, and it's the thumbnail, and I know I used the thumbnail for my original review, but it's such an iconic shot, and I added some stuff for this one, so shoosh. Where she's standing there, and you just see the guy, the baghead I call him, pop up in the background, and he's just standing there, and she's standing there smoking, and it's that shot, right? Also iconic is the knock on the door. Is Tamra home? Now, he goes out, and he turns up, and they're like, I don't know if they mentioned it, but there's like, you're not going to bring up the fact that someone had to have done that? Because wasn't it on when they got there? I don't know. And my question is, why do they do that if they're wearing masks? Why do they have to turn the light off? I don't think she's wearing the mask at that point, but still, why did they have to turn the light off? And why just turn it so the light's not? Why not smash it? Because you don't want to alert them yet? I guess. Why not take the entire light bulb out? It's not really a one. It's like, oh, there's no light. There was one when we came. I don't know. I didn't write the movie, so I don't know. And the shit starts, and he comes back, and he sees that something has happened, right? Like, she was so here's the thing. She's charging her phone, and then the thing gets cut. And her phone is gone, but then later at the end of was that his phone? Because he had it. He called his buddy to come pick him up, because he's going to make her stay in his family's home, and he's going to leave. Called his buddy, and to that end, I think it is a waste of Glenn Howerton in this movie, Like I said, they could have given him more screen time, but they won't because of the implication. But, again, it doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to keep hammering that stupid-ass joke in. He shows up, and he's walking around the corner, and he's quiet. And this always bugs me. Fucking say something! Right? He starts, I don't know if he does start say something. Once the music stops, he doesn't know the music's going to stop. Music's playing all the time. He's walking around. Why doesn't he say anything? I'll tell you why. Because if he did, he wouldn't get shot. And they wanted it to go this way. Because there's no other way I can think of. No other reason I can think of why they would do that. Because to me, you go into someone's house, you see this damage has happened, you're screaming for him, James! Kristen? No, he's quiet as fuck. Just walking through. And then he gets hit with buckshot. Not the buckshot lariat. Buckshot. Fuck you, Logan Paul. Now, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but it seems like it's a rib to see him. People are saying that what he did, I didn't watch it, by the way. If you're wondering, Scotty, how come we didn't talk about Money in the Bank? Because I don't want to talk about it. I just don't. But people are saying that he fucked up the lariat on purpose to rib at CM Punk. And I'm just like, well, he has nothing to do with Punk. And Punk is now feuding with Cena. So, no, it was an accident. It was an accident. But anyway, let's get back to this. So, yeah, character gets killed for no reason. And then shit goes down. You get that moment, right? Why us? Because you were home. It means if they didn't answer the door, well, the lights were on, I guess, but like, I don't know. So were they watching them when they got back? Were they just watching the vlog and say, "Oh, that person just came home. Let's do that one." It's pretty secluded. There's more than I. Every time I see the outside, it's almost like there's the only house there, but it's got to be more houses there, right? Right. I don't know. But yeah. I also like the music choices. It's not like a score. There is a score, but most of it's not prevalent. There's quiet moments, and you have diegetic music that just kind of goes through. You know, Mama cried, Mama cried. Well, you know that's all. You know, you got the record playing. You know what I mean? I think that works, and it looks really good. And this is the Scream Factory Blu-ray unrated cut that I'm watching. On the Steelbook that's back there. I wanted to check it out on the Steel. Looks about the same. Sometimes they do a really good job at restoring stuff, but I guess with these ones you don't really need to. They just take whatever version was already on the other version of the Blu-ray, the Universal one, and then just throw it in there. It really is the same. You know, other one, only they had to commit 2 discs to each version of the film, one for unrated, one for theatrical. For some reason, I don't know why you needed to put an extra disc in there, but when the original version had both versions on the same disc. I don't know. But, yeah. And watching towards the end of this movie, something that gets me is they don't leave right away, okay? So, you get the whole thing where they're captured and hanging there, you get the... Well, you hear she were home, and then you hear her scream. And then it cuts back, you hear the phone ringing, and she's laying there. And she grabs the phone, but it's too late. And before she even gets the idea to call 911, because she's seen their faces, Baghead shows up, grabs the phone, and leaves. He doesn't stab her again. He just leaves her there. Doesn't stab her, or strangle her, or break her neck. No, he just leaves her there. And then we get those 2 Mormon boys, I assume they're Mormons, that show up and they find her. Which, doesn't the movie start with that, or is it... But, and she screams. That was supposed to lead into a sequel we never got, by the way. The sequel we're supposed to get was... She was going to come back to help the next couple who was being attacked. But it took so long for that movie to develop that movie. By the time it was developed, she was written out and it was something completely different. Don't get me wrong, that movie was really good. But I'm still lobbying for a Strangers movie with Liv Tyler coming back. Right? Hell, I want a direct sequel to Strangers Pray at Night. You could have Liv Tyler come back too. I don't know. But... In fact, you could do something. You could have the 3rd film in this trilogy pick up right where it left off. You get the knock on the door, and she's very anxious. She opens the door, and Liv Tyler. I know who did this to you, and I want to help you get them back. I know who did this to you. And I know it's not over, or something like that. You know, you could start the movie with that, and then you can, you could have them go to the crime scene, or you could actually say that takes place like a few days later. You can start with them at the crime scene and finding blood, but no bodies, or something. You'd have to make them fucking supernatural at that point, or something, which would be kind of off. I don't know. You could find a couple bodies, but Baghead body is missing. He's burnt to a crisp. You can make him like a next Jason Voorhees. Or, which would be another way to do it, it's a cult. 3 are down, but 3 more You could say the masks are missing. They said the kids said that they're wearing masks. I don't see any masks. 3 more take up the mantle. And now we're after those kids for revenge. And that's when Liv Tyler shows up and is like, hey, I know who they are. I know why they're doing this. And it's a cult sort of thing where they go to places where they find people who are basically in the middle of nowhere and they kill them because they can get away with stuff like that. Only they picked the wrong people to fuck with this time. It's like a Hydra thing where you kill 3 of them, 3 more will take their place. It's a cult. And you never see their faces. That's the thing. They just keep putting the mask back on. You never see their faces. It could work. But back to this one. I think this is well done. I think it works. I do like, after rewatching this, I know I need to rewatch Strangers Pray at Night. But I do think that one's better. It builds the characters more. There's more story to it than just being chased around a house at night. There's more characters around to develop. And I think it works better. This one is fine. I'll give it a very low pretty good. Because it's still a good movie. But, I don't know why I did that. That's my no good movie. But it's still, because it's still a good movie. But, I do like Pray at Night better. So, the whole thing is it's chapter 1, The Strangers, and Pray at Night right now. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on The Strangers? I don't know, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And now, it's time to get on the computer. Call your friends to Skype. And watch out for crazy fucking internet ghosts. Be careful not to get... you know the rest. Anyway, I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.